In the big, bustling city of Lagos, there lived a couple named Akpan and Uyai. Akpan and Uyai were just newly married and had dated for 4 years before they officially tied the knot. Not only that, but Akpan and Uyai were both from the same village of Ukama, and they had lived there all their lives. The village of Ukama was a small village where farming, fishing and harvesting palm fruits were the major occupations. Akpan's father was a fisherman, and as he grew older, he joined his father in the occupation. Uyai's parents were farmers and palm fruit harvesters, so she spent most of her life farming for her parents and harvesting palm fruits from their palm fruit plantation. The couple had known each other since childhood, as their parents were very good friends. Coincidentally, as they grew older, they fell in love and got married. While Akpan and Uyai were dating, it had always been their dream to relocate to Lagos after their wedding. Since both of them grew up in Ukama village and spent their entire lives there, they were always curious to know what life felt like in the city. To make their dream a reality, Akpan and Uyai decided to save some money to help them relocate to the big city. Luckily for them, a few months after their wedding, they were able to save up enough money to rent a 1-bedroom apartment in Lagos. The first day Akpan and Uyai arrived in Lagos, they were very excited and they couldn't stop admiring all the big fancy buildings and cars. Unlike in Ukama village, where very few villagers owned old rusty cars, in Lagos, Akpan and Uyai saw a variety of cars, including the types they had never seen before. My husband, I am so glad that God has answered our prayers, Uyai said after settling into their new home. Ah, my beautiful wife, you have no idea how excited I am. We are finally in Lagos, the same Lagos other villagers have been bragging about, Akpan said. I can't wait for us to become so rich and drive big cars. Tomorrow, I will go to the market and find a way to pay for a stall so I can start my business immediately, Uyai said excitedly. Businesswoman, you only arrived today and you're already thinking of how to make money, Akpan teased Uyai. Why won't I think of money? Didn't you see all the fine houses and cars? It's money they used to buy them now, If we don't make the money, how will we buy them? Uyai said. Don't worry, my wife. With hard work and God on our side, we will get them, Akpan said. The following day, Uyai asked for directions to the closest market to their house, and just like she had said, she went to inquire about the cost of getting a stall in the market. Luckily for her, she found a cheap stall in a good position and returned home to tell Akpan about it. Later that evening, Akpan followed her to the market to check the stall, and when he confirmed that the location was perfect, they paid for it. Uyai planned on selling palm oil, the extract of the palm fruits they harvested, and she knew she would make a lot of money from it. A few days after Uyai paid for her stall, she told her family to send her plenty gallons of palm oil, and they did. Unfortunately, since Uyai and Akpan had very little money and had used all their money to rent a stall at the market, Akpan was forced to join Uyai in selling palm oil in the market because he could not afford to start his own small business. On the days Akpan could not join Uyai at the market, he would go job hunting. Even though the palm oil business was moving pretty well, Akpan still needed a job, and he knew that the two of them could not live off the profit from the business. Otherwise, they would have no savings. Sadly, getting a job in Lagos was not as easy as Akpan expected. He submitted several applications and went for several job interviews, but none yielded results. 1 year passed, and despite how actively Akpan was applying for jobs, he still could not get one. In fact, it even reached a point where Akpan gave up and stopped applying for jobs, but Uyai kept encouraging him. My husband, you can't give up now. You know that nothing good in this life comes easily. You just have to keep trying, and I know you will succeed. One day, you will come back to this house and we will celebrate your new job. I am very sure about that, Uyai would say. Whenever Uyai said that, even though Akpan had lost interest in applying, he would go out the next day to search for another job. Finally, after 1 year and 3 months of job hunting, Akpan had a lucky break. He applied for a job, passed the interview, and was hired immediately. The day Akpan got the job, he was so happy that as soon as he got home, he began to cry tears of joy. Akpan could not believe that after a long time of being jobless and walking in the hot Lagos sun, he finally got a job. It wasn't just any job, but a good job that paid him enough to cover his expenses and save some money every month. My husband, didn't I tell you? I told you that you should be patient, that you would get a job, Uyai said excitedly. Thank you, my wife. I don't know what I would have done without you. If it weren't for your encouragement and pushes, I wouldn't have made it this far, Akpan said. You're welcome. At least now that you have your own job, we can save more money and finally get to a bigger house, Uyai said excitedly. Bigger house, ke? Not so fast now. Do you know how much the rent for those bigger houses cost? We will eventually get there, but not now, Akpan said. It's fine. I know we will. No matter how long it takes to get one, I believe that God will help us achieve that, Uyai said. After Akpan got his new job, their lives began to improve slowly. Their feeding improved too, and they were able to do the things they could not afford to do before. To Akpan and Uyai, moving to Lagos was one of the best decisions they made for their lives. Aside from the change in environment, seeing fancy cars and houses, moving to Lagos gave the couple more opportunities. For example, if Akpan had remained in Ukama village, he would never have gotten a job that paid him as much as he earned. The same thing applied to Uyai. She made more money selling palm oil in the Lagos market than she made in their village. Since Ukama village was a place where almost everyone harvested palm fruits and extracted palm oil was one of the cheapest things there, and sometimes it was given to friends and loved ones for free. However, fresh palm oil was always in demand in Lagos, and this gave Uyai a lot of money. For 3 years, Akpan and Uyai continued to live in their one-bedroom apartment, and within those 3 years, the couple saved a lot of money. Uyai's business really expanded and she got a bigger shop. Then Akpan got promoted twice. Life was good for the couple, and thankfully, at the end of the 3 years, Uyai got pregnant and gave birth to a beautiful baby girl whom they named Akan. Some months after Uyai gave birth to their daughter, she began to talk about moving to a bigger house. Their little one-room apartment was now too small for the couple and their baby. My husband, I think it's time for us to start looking for a new house. See how tight and stuffy our house has become. There's barely enough ventilation, and you know that our baby needs air, Uyai said. I know. I was even thinking about the same thing. Don't worry. I will start looking for a bigger room with a parlor so we can also have our own living room, Akpan said. I would have asked some women at the market, but those women are unreliable. Maybe you can even ask your colleagues at work, Uyai suggested. Yes, that's a good idea. I will ask some of my colleagues at work. They should be able to link me to someone we will rent the house from, Akpan said. The following day, when Akpan went to work, he asked some of his colleagues if they knew any house agents who could help him urgently get a house. And fortunately for him, one of his colleagues did. Yes, I do. I will give you the guy's number. He's even the one who helped me find the house I'm living in, and I'm sure he will help you, Akpan's colleague said. After Akpan got the agent's number, he didn't call him until he returned home that evening. After arriving home, Akpan had dinner and relaxed, and then he called the house agent. Since Akpan was looking for a one-bedroom apartment with a living room, the agent told him it would be very easy to find, especially with his budget. The house agent even claimed that he had some apartments available for Akpan and his wife to check. However, since Akpan and Uyai were always busy on weekdays, they fixed their appointment for the weekend. When the weekend eventually came, Akpan and Uyai went to check out the houses, but sadly, they didn't like any of them. Either the rooms were too small or the location was too far from the market or Akpan's office. The following weekend, it was still the same. All the houses the house agent took them to were not what Akpan and Uyai liked, but just as they were about to give up on finding the perfect house, something happened. One Tuesday afternoon, Akpan was in his office working when the house agent called him to inform him that he had found a very nice house in a good location. The only issue was that the owner wanted to sell it, so he called Akpan to find out if Akpan could afford it. At the moment, I don't think we can afford that amount. Maybe you should keep looking for houses that are up for rent, Akpan said. Mr. Akpan, I understand that you did not plan for this, but you should consider this a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You just need to add very little money to your budget, and the house is yours. Before you say no, just come and see the house, the house agent said. Okay, my wife and I will make time this evening. But please, if the house is not worth it, don't waste our time. We are very busy people, Akpan said. Don't worry, you will definitely love this one. It's exactly what you have been looking for, the house agent assured him. That evening, when Akpan returned from work, he went to check the house with Uyai, and it was beyond what they wanted. The house was a 2-bedroom flat with 3 toilets and a fancy living room. Are you sure the owner wants to sell this house for the amount you mentioned? Uyai asked. It was almost unbelievable that they only needed to add very little money to their original budget to get the house. Yes, the man is my friend. I told him that a couple were looking for a house, and he said he was willing to sell this one if only you could increase your budget, the house agent said. He must be a very kind man, Uyai said excitedly. So, do you guys love the house? Will you be taking it? The house agent asked. Yes, we like the house, but we will need to discuss it first before making any decisions, Akpan said. When Akpan and Uyai returned home that evening, Uyai couldn't stop talking about the house. Baby, Akpan called Uyai. Don't you think there's something fishy about that house? I mean, that's a house that the owner can sell for 10 times, if not 20 times the price. Why is he selling it for such a cheap price? Akpan said suspiciously. I don't think anything is wrong with that. You know how these rich people behave. Maybe he has a lot of properties and he just wants to sell this one off, Uyai said. So, do you think we should take it? You know we will be adding almost all of our savings to what we already have, Akpan said. Yes, please! I don't mind. I believe that this is God's way of making us homeowners in this Lagos. We should not let the opportunity pass by, Uyai said. Okay, if you like the house, then I'm cool with it, Akpan said. We will go back and check it again tomorrow, and then we will finalize everything. Later that week, Akpan and Uyai paid for the house, signed the necessary documents, and moved into their new home. The house was already painted and everything had been fixed in advance, so all they needed to do was move in. Sadly, about a week after the couple and their daughter moved into the house, they began to notice strange paranormal activities that sent chills down their spines and nearly forced them to move out. Watch out for part 2. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your favorite part in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, do not forget to follow our channel on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.